tampoco eso sé cómo se entiende.
Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks. On the road again today, coming to you from Leon city, a city in the north of Spain. It's a smaller type city, very well located here, very close to mountains, easily accessed from other parts of Spain. And from what I've seen over the last couple of days, it is a fantastic city that offers great quality of life for the people that are fortunate enough to live here. And even if you're not planning to come to Spain to live, this is a city that you definitely must visit. It is one of my top 10 cities that I recommend to visit, and you won't be disappointed. Let's go and have a look. Una pregunta, ¿aquí pasan trenes o no?
No.
No?
Ha quedado como un paseo.
Vale, vale. Now you'll be able to see behind me a type of train track or tram track. Unfortunately, it doesn't go into the center of the city. As that lady just said, it doesn't work. It's something that people here are still waiting for. Hasn't been completed. Don't know what the problem is there. Obviously some type of political problem. But she seemed optimistic that maybe one day there will be a train or a tram that will take people from this particular neighborhood into the center. That's also another characteristic of this city that I have seen, is that there isn't a lot of public transport options. There are buses, of course, taxis, no bicycle scheme. Few people riding bikes around, but not a lot. And it is a flat city, which is good. And it's fairly easy to get around on foot. So that's a positive about the city, the flatness. Now, I had somebody comment in one of the videos yesterday about the graffiti in cities here in Spain. And you can see behind me here that it is a problem. Even when you go into the historical part of the city, there's graffiti everywhere. And it is a real blight on the cities and that cultural aspect. And it's not good graffiti. It's mainly tagging. And to be honest, I don't know why they don't clean it up. Now, if you're watching this video in 2022 and you're wondering why there's people walking around with masks on, it's because we've just come out of the famous coronavirus pandemic, and there's still a little bit of fear in the air. But if you're watching this in the future and you do decide to come to a city like this, hopefully we won't have the same mask wearing situation. Now, Leon is a landlocked city. The nearest coastal area is about 1.5 hours away by car. Probably Gijón in Asturias would be the place that people go to the beach. Maybe they go to Cantabria, Santander, I don't know, but there's no beach in the area. There is a river here, but I don't think you can swim in the river. I saw some people there fishing. Weren't catching many things, but they were fishing nonetheless. And I don't know what people would do here to get relief from the heat. Obviously swimming pools would be the main thing, I imagine, and there's probably a few lakes and dams around the area as well, because we're very close here to a mountain region, and I'm sure that up there you could find a nice place to take a swim in the summer months, because it can get hot here. But I'll talk about the weather more in a little while. Now, I'm on my way to the center of the city, to the old part of town, and we'll check it out. It is one of the better Casco Antiguos that I have seen, but it does have similar characteristics to other Casco Antiguos in this particular part of the world, which is Castilla y León, the autonomous community of Castilla y León. And there's a bit of history to that as well, and I'll tell you some more about that as well in a minute. But let's go. Now, I'm walking here in a residential neighborhood here in León. One thing about these barrios or neighborhoods here in Spain is that they're all very, very similar. You can't really tell where you are in Spain from looking around a place like this. Blocks of apartments, typical shops, and they all look the same. In fact, I could almost be in Benidorm. All right, so now we're going to go into the old part of the city and have a look at some of these monuments. The police action happening over there. Okay, so we're in the old part of town now. We'll take a look around some of these old streets, and this is where all the action happens. It's where all the tourists come. It's where a lot of the best bars and restaurants are. There's a neighborhood here called the Barrio Húmedo, which is full of little quaint bars and places that have tapas. It's a place where with a couple of beers, they give you plenty of food, so you don't have to spend a lot of money on food here. And from what I've seen over the last couple of nights as well, there is a very, very, very good nightlife here. It's a little bit dampened at the moment because of the corona situation, but in general this would be a great city to go out at night. And one thing that Lyon is not short on is monuments and churches. They are everywhere you go. There is a fantastic cathedral here, lots of other architectural delights, and from that point of view, a fantastic city. And at this time of the morning, it's about 8:45, maybe a little bit later, there are very, very few people on the streets, and this is one of the best times of the day to visit the sites in a place like this. Basically, the only people you see at this time of the day are locals and people on their way to work. So it's great to be able to walk these streets and not have to put up with the masses, because these cities can get very, very busy, especially at weekends and at this time of the year in summer, because the weather is a fundamental factor of this place. Very cold winters, hot summers, but as somebody told me the other day, this is a place where you get the 4 seasons here in Spain. Now we'll take a walk down around to where the cathedral is. I'll show you more about the historical aspect of the city at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. But we'll go and have a look at that main cathedral area now. One thing I love about this city is that every corner you turn around, there's a little square or plaza where you can just sit down and relax, like this one here. I'll turn the camera around because I've got that cathedral in sight, so you can just sort of see it there with the sun reflecting on it, and that's where we'll head. Have a look around there, and then we'll go to the Plaza Mayor, which is just around the corner. And as I mentioned before, this is a relatively flat city, so it's really easy to get around. Although if you wanted to get around on some type of other form of transport, like maybe a scooter, that would also be a good option in a city like this as well. Now, another characteristic of this city is it's also a university city, a very important university here. Lots of young people studying throughout the year, and that also gives it a lot of life, because all of these university cities here in Spain, whether it's Salamanca, Lyon, Santiago, even a city like Madrid, that university culture gives it that little bit extra, especially for young people. Now I'm just going to interrupt the video there so that I can tell you about Skillshare, the sponsors of today's video. Now, if you're not familiar with Skillshare, it's an online community for creatives that offers thousands of inspiring classes for creative people. For me, one of the best things about Skillshare is that it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a master, you'll be able to find a class there to suit your skill level, and you'll also be able to fit the classes around your schedule. Most classes are under 60 minutes, so they're perfect for even the busiest people. Now, if you watch some of my videos in the past, you'll know that I'm always talking about the fact that you need to be prepared as much as possible before you move to any country, let alone a country like Spain. And at Skillshare, you can definitely do that. There are classes to help you try to learn the language, and there's also classes to help you improve other skills, which is something that I'm always looking to do. For example, at the moment, I'm trying to improve my podcasting skills, and I found this fantastic course on Skillshare, which is going to help me do just that. Skillshare is really affordable, and a yearly subscription costs less than $10 a month. And the first 1,000 people that click the link below will get a 2-month free subscription to Skillshare, so you can try it out for yourself. Skillshare is a great online community with a wide variety of classes, so click that link below to get that 2-month free subscription offer. Now back to the video. All right, so here we are with the cathedral behind me, and if we have a look around, we'll see that there are no crowds at this time of the day. There's only one bloke over there asking for money, and a few people, as I said, on their way to work. This is definitely the time to come to visit places like this. I'll see if I can get a view of the cathedral behind me. There we go, spectacular. I always feel sorry for the people that had to build things like this, but then again, they left their mark on history, so we should be proud of them. Another good way to get around the city. Okay, all roads lead to the Plaza Mayor, and another spectacular place here in Lyon, the famous Plaza Mayor. Lots of places, a typical Plaza Mayor, lots of places to sit and have a drink and take in the sights and people watch, which is also one of my favorite activities in cities like this, but never short of something to see. Okay, we'll take a detour here. Now, this is a city that's really easy to get to as well. I might have mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but it's well connected by road. Trains, you've got a fast train system. I don't know whether it's the AVE anymore, that might have changed. And there's also an airport, and it's also accessible to other Spanish cities from here as well. So you can get to places like Valladolid and other cities in Castilla y León. So well connected. All right, Plaza Mayor. Now, another thing I'm going to say about this city is that people are extremely friendly. I don't know whether it's because of the times we're living, but in general, people here have been more than helpful for everything that we have needed. good service in bars and restaurants. Place where we're staying, the people are friendly as well. And just people that you stop in the street to ask directions and things like that, also very friendly and willing to help the tourist, which is fantastic and one of the pros of this city. So a big thumbs up for that. This is also a part of Spain that has great regional cuisine. Very good variety of foods in this area, and they've got great charcuterie as well. Cheeses, salchichon, chorizo, all of those things, great. And here's an example of a typical tapas place here. Lots of variety on the menu. But as I said before, it's one of these places where they give you a lot of tapas when you order a drink, so you don't necessarily have to order from the menu, because with a couple of beers or a couple of glasses of wine, you get fed. And you don't have to go to Barcelona to see Gaudi architecture. You've got it right here as well. Just ask this bloke. And this is where you're going to come to satisfy your gastronomic needs. Plenty of pubs, plenty of bars, plenty of restaurants, plenty of place to enjoy those tapas in this area here. Yesterday we came to a place here, had a beer, and we got a nice little plate of ham, cheese, chorizo, a little bit of bread as well. Washed it down with a beer. Had a couple of glasses of wine. This is a wine region as well. El Bierzo is the local wine region. Bit noisy over here with the gas bottle man. This is one of the main areas where people come when they want to eat and drink in this city. And look at some of the things that we've got on offer here. Fantastic. Now, as I said before, this is part of the autonomous community of Castilla y León. That's also a little bit controversial in itself. There's people that don't want to belong to that particular area, and there's a small independence movement here as well. I say small, it's not like some of the other ones around Spain, but it does exist. And there's also a local language here as well, which apparently is almost extinct, but they're trying to keep it alive. And there are bodies that are trying to help them do that by giving them money to support the local language and culture. And another thing about this city is that it's also on the Camino de Santiago. I think it's the French way. So a city that's also visited by thousands and thousands of pilgrims every year, and definitely worth a visit in that regard. So there you go, that's León done and dusted. I'm going to show you a little bit around the city now, so stay tuned for that. But this is a fantastic city with friendly people. Weather can be a little bit extreme, but there are plenty of things to see and do in this area. You're close to mountains, great outdoor activities that you can do as well. Food culture and wine culture, second to none. And as I said, monuments everywhere and visually spectacular, as we can see. Great city to live in, fantastic quality of life, fantastic city to visit. What more do you need? Questions or comments, please leave them in the section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.